Coming up next, the holiday travel rush is on. See how it's impacting our area.
Pack light, show up early, and be prepared for a delay.
Plus, the number of homeless in Central PA is rising. We take a closer look at the problem.
So I went from all this to nothing.
And how local farms like this spend all year getting ready for a massive rush that begins next week. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Rachel Fisher.
And I'm John Hartley. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, the Thanksgiving travel rush begins today. That includes thousands of Penn State students, employees, and Center County residents taking off for the holiday week, and some not so great weather. Reporter Conrad Frisch is live at the State College Airport with more. Conrad?
John, it's been busy this morning at the State College Airport with people trying to get out of here for their flights, with millions of people also around America trying to leave for the holiday travel. Weather is going to be a big problem this holiday season. When the holidays hit, State College sees an exodus. Much of Penn State's 45,000 plus student population heads home. Some drive, some fly. John McMurtry says his travel philosophy is simple.
Pack light, show up early, and be prepared for a delay.
AAA nationwide says almost 80 million people will travel over this Thanksgiving holiday week, and weather may be an added challenge. A huge storm hit the West Coast this week, and snow and rain has been moving through Pennsylvania and the Northeast.
So weather systems can hit at any time, but there is a weather system coming through over the weekends, but hopefully it's not too disruptive.
Rental car companies are especially busy, including those in State College. Enterprise tells us their rentals typically double. A spokesperson said, quote, "It also really messes with our inventory because they are one-way vehicles and not a lot of those vehicles make it back to State College. And sometimes, better or worse, to travel over Thanksgiving, AAA says get up early and get out."
The earlier in the day, whether you're traveling on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday for Thanksgiving, going earlier is going to be better.
The busiest days are expected to be Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon. Make sure to keep an eye on the forecast and PennDOT's road condition updates before you leave. Live at the airport, I'm Conrad Frisch. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Conrad. Now let's get a live weather update with student meteorologist Sean Romeo in University Park. Sean?
Well, Rachel, it's a winter wonderland out here right now as snow is falling at a pretty steady clip. It's not accumulating too much here on the ground, specifically here in State College and University Park. But once you get to the ridges out to our west or over to northeastern Pennsylvania, you're talking about a lot of snow on the ground. There's reports of over a foot when it comes up to northeastern Pennsylvania, up north of Scranton. So road conditions will be tricky if you're traveling down towards, say, Ebensburg and over the mountains towards our west, or if you're traveling towards the Poconos. But overall, it will be a generally quieter weekend once this system goes through. I'll have all those details for you in just a few minutes with my full forecast in the next block. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Sean. We have breaking news right now on the probe into 2 Patton Township church fires. The federal ATF is now involved and confirmed to us that the fires were intentionally set. The Bureau is working with state and local police on the cases. The fires at Woody Crest and Fillmore United Methodist Churches happened this fall. They caused heavy damage to both buildings.
A 22-year-old man is accused of causing $12,000 in damage to State College businesses. Police arrested Jacob Victor of Chester County, saying he used a bolt cutter to exit the Fraser Street parking garage without paying. He's also accused of damaging windows and doors of downtown businesses, including Doggy's Pub, Lionheart Fitness, and Sharky's Bar.
The recount in Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate race is underway, but Senator Bob Casey has now conceded to Dave McCormick. Results show McCormick's lead over incumbent Bob Casey around 16,000 votes. AP called the race for McCormick, but it was close enough to trigger the automatic recount. Casey conceded last night. All counties were required to start recounts by Wednesday. They have to be done by next Tuesday.
As the weather gets cold, more attention turns to the homeless in our community. And in Center County, officials say homelessness is getting worse. Haley Jacobs reports.
So I went from all this to nothing.
Lynn Stem is 60 years old. He's a mechanic in State College, But not even a year ago, he was homeless.
Anybody's life can spiral at any second.
There's a common stereotype surrounding homelessness. You think drugs, alcohol, no income. But that's not always the full story. While he did battle drugs and alcohol, Stem says it was ultimately an abusive relationship with his girlfriend that put him on the streets.
I've been in a tent so many times, most of the time because of her, because we had nowhere else to go.
Stem says one day he decided he was going to make a change, to leave his relationship and get clean. He says choosing a positive path got him back on his feet.
There's positive in everything. And the negative, there's a choice. Believe it or not, there's a choice.
In Pennsylvania, more than 15,000 people experience homelessness on any given day. That includes several hundred in Center County. And local advocates tell us the problem is getting worse, in part because of factors like high housing costs and inflation. Executive Director of Out of the Cold Shelter, Jordan Venziano, says most homeless in the State College area face challenges that go beyond financial hardship.
A lot of the people that come into our shelter specifically have underlying things that have led to them experiencing homelessness right now.
She says the shelter sees a lot of people with mental health and medical problems, which is exactly what Ryan is going through.
I had just increasing medical issues and was unable to work. Lived with family for a while and then got kicked out of there.
He says those medical issues don't allow him to work, and he's been living at the shelter since July.
It's painful to not work and to not be able to, and just to really have no control over your situation.
He says most people assume he's a drug addict or alcoholic when he says he's homeless.
People like me kind of just slip through in the shadows and are paired with that stereotype.
Mm-hmm. Does that bother you?
Yeah.
There are places to find help. Along with Out of the Cold, there's Center Safe, Center House, and the Youth Service Bureau Shelter. As the dark days of winter arrive, these organizations offer a beacon of light and hope. In State College, I'm Haley Jacobs for the Center County Report.
Nationally, the latest numbers showed more than 650,000 homeless people. That's a 12% increase over the previous year.
And with Thanksgiving almost here, some families across Pennsylvania are struggling financially. Reporter Thomas English shows you how Penn State is trying to help.
Sharing food around the table during Thanksgiving is such a special moment.
While some families get ready for quality family time during Thanksgiving, others are struggling to afford a special holiday meal. That's where Penn State's Thanksgiving Basket Drive lends a hand. Co-chair Kendall Mainzer says she enjoys how the event brings everyone together.
Seeing Penn State deans, students, faculty, staff, clinicians, researchers, community members, Girl Scout troops, other Scout troops, seeing everybody do it together, that's my favorite part.
The drive partners with organizations to create and fill a list of items requested by local families. Then, it partners with Penn State's Center for Arts and Crafts and student volunteers to decorate each box.
Classic side dishes like mashed potatoes and gravy are put into decorated boxes like these. These boxes are then sent to nearly 150 families so they can enjoy their own Thanksgiving feast.
Each box is filled to provide enough food for a family of 4. Once the boxes are put together, any leftover food is donated to food pantries in the area. On-campus organizations like the Food Recovery Network are matched with the Basket Drive to continue its mission of providing food for those in need.
It's great because you realize that every basket, it's not just one basket, it's a basket that's going to an entire family who needs that food.
The drive has been running for at least 15 years and continues to bring together the community for a good cause.
I didn't realize how much of a community-wide effort this is, and it just really feels really good to have our neighbors come together to support one another.
In University Park, I'm Thomas English for the Center County Report.
The decorated and filled boxes are being delivered today for families to enjoy on Thanksgiving.
Still to come on the Center County Report, we check the 7-day holiday weather forecast.
And we take you to Light Up Night in State College. Also coming up, they spend all year preparing for a massive rush of customers over a 4-week period. See the calm before the storm next. State College officially welcomed in the holiday season last night. Here's a look. Holiday cheer was in the air as students, families, and community members gathered on Allen Street for downtown State College's 5th annual Light Up Night. The event featured live music, free winter treats, visits with Santa, live reindeer, and light displays.
All the festive tunes and seeing, a whole bunch of different singers, and we've got dance groups and all these vendors out. It's just a nice kind of pre-holiday night out.
Ava Coho said she too enjoyed all the festivities, but of course she had a few favorites.
The decorations and the dancing and the reindeer, because people get to see beautiful things and then they get to enjoy music. So, and then the reindeer, they get to see like Santa's reindeer, so they can say hi to them.
Coho was also hoping to be able to help Santa light up the Christmas tree at the end of the night.
I think it might be a really big tree, so that might be a lot of fun. And there's probably gonna be thousands of kids, so they can get a chance to be Santa, and that might be a kid's dream. In State College, I'm John Hartley for the Center County Report. There's also a holiday light show that plays nightly at MLK Plaza from 5 to 10 p.m. through January 2nd, and a special New Year's show on December 31st.
With the holiday season here, a local Christmas tree farm is preparing for a massive rush of customers. Reporter Yaya Wan takes a look.
For most people, holiday prep starts in November. But at Tate Christmas Tree Farm near Center Hall, it's a year-long process.
We work 10 months a year for these next 2 months because it takes a lot of work, and it's really fun to see our hard work make people happy.
With 20,000 trees on the property, Emily Zink and her team spend the year growing, pruning, and maintaining trees to make sure they're in prime condition for the holidays.
Christmas trees don't grow in the shape of Christmas trees, so we have to prune them to look like Christmas trees, and that takes most of the year.
After a full year of preparation, the holiday season is quickly approaching, and the Christmas tree farms are ready to get busy. When the selling season arrives, Tate Farm sells as many as 3,000 trees. At that point, it's all hands on deck.
People will get overwhelmed and stuff, but once you kind of internalize and get the muscle memory down of all the specific tasks, people just tend to lock into place.
Tommy Gargiulo is coming up on his second holiday season here.
It's nice to deal in customer service where everyone just has a glow about them and there's just happiness going around. Because sometimes you can be in customer service and people are getting a little cranky, but here, for the most part, everyone's just very happy.
For Zink, her job is more than selling Christmas trees. One interaction with a customer left her teary-eyed.
Her son was coming back from Iraq, and she wanted to surprise him with a Christmas tree. And she was like, "So is it too early to cut it down?" And I was like, "No, I'll get you your tree." But that really warmed my heart.
With orders starting to come in, Zink and her team are ready for the rush.
My friends say we sell happiness, which is true. So we are prepared for chaos.
In Center Hall, I'm Yaya Wan for the Center County Report.
Tate Farm says it takes about 8 years to grow a Christmas tree. Now here's Sean with the weather.
Well, I'm sure that Christmas tree farm will be in the holiday spirit today with the snow falling across central Pennsylvania. As I mentioned, the snow is continuing here through State College and all throughout central Pennsylvania and even a little bit into New Jersey. Now, the heaviest is, of course, up here in Johnstown, the mountains as usual, and those huge numbers I was talking about earlier up here in Scranton, where they're getting potentially over a foot way up in the northern tier. That is some serious snow for this time of year. Winter weather alerts across the state, those winter storm warnings again in the northern tier where we've been seeing the heaviest accumulations, and also, of course, in the Laurel Highlands by Johnstown, where the numbers are also adding up. Winter weather advisories across much of the rest of the state, again into New Jersey a little bit as well. That's where we get the lighter totals coming through. Temperatures across the state right now, 34 here in State College, already warm and eerie at 45, still kind of in the 30s across the state with that snow falling. This afternoon, though, temperatures will actually go up a slight bit as we go into the overnight hours as things warm slightly, and we could change to a little bit of rain and a rain and snow mix as we go forward. And overnight tonight, though, temperatures, again, like I mentioned, will be mid-30s, around freezing here in State College. Sort of a scattered wintry mix around and about, especially here in the western half of the state. That's where probably you'll see most of the precipitation tonight more than anywhere else. Saturday planner across the entire state is going to be, well, actually for mostly central Pennsylvania, the storm moves off generally. So 36 and breezy in the morning, so sort of a cool start. A bit more sun as we get towards noontime, and then by the time we get towards the evening hours, the clouds will return once again. So it will be this sort of cycle of clouds, then a little bit of sun, and back to clouds again. As we step forward in time, overnight tonight, like I said, scattered wintry mix, especially more out west and also back east. Central section of the state will stay generally dry, but overcast. We go forward into Saturday itself. Again, those clouds sort of wander around here in State College. It's sort of in between. They'll pop a little bit more sun-wise as we get towards the middle of the day before it clouds right back up all over again as we get into the overnight hours. And then on Sunday, a chance for some lake effect on and off showers, whether that's rain or snow across portions of the state before our next system starts to roll in on Monday. That's going to be our next weather maker. And then as we look a little further out in time, Monday, that weather maker rolls through into Tuesday. And then as we go forward, guess what? As we get towards Thursday, there's a chance for more white stuff coming around. That storm will begin to move itself out on Friday into Saturday as we look into our 7-day. And again, it will be an unsettled week as we get sort of the snow today, a little bit rain or snow on Monday, but then again on Thursday, could be, again, more white stuff on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh gosh, more snow, and it's only Thanksgiving.
What do you expect? I mean, we were so warm for so long, it had to fall sooner or later.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I love the snow. Thanks, Sean. Now let's check in with Ryan Esslinger with sports.
Coming up next in sports, a look at tonight's big high school football playoff games in the area. Also ahead, the Nittany Lions hit the road one last time with playoff hopes on the horizon. We preview the game next. I'm Ryan Esslinger with sports. The Nittany Lions are on their last road trip of the regular season. They face Minnesota in a game that's critical to their playoff hopes. After a dominating win at Purdue last weekend, Penn State is on the road again, this time to play the Golden Gophers for the first time since the 2022 whiteout game. Coach James Franklin says the turnover ratio and explosive play ratio will be keys in this game.
You know, the stats that we talk about week in and week out is the turnover ratio and the explosive play ratio, and those two things are going to be critical on Saturday.
Since defensive coordinator Tom Allen arrived, the defense has only allowed an average of 13.6 points per game to opponents. Cornerback Jalen Kimber talked about Allen's influence.
I love Tom Allen's system. I feel like as a whole we've been playing really good defense, and people don't really see that, especially if they don't really understand football.
With some key defensive injuries this year, players like O'Davion Collins have seen more playing time and have stepped into their roles as starters this year.
He just has embraced everything that we've asked him to do, and he works his tail off in the weight room, works his tail off at practice every single day. He's always got a huge smile on his face.
Kickoff is at 3:30 p.m. and you can listen to the game live on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team in Chile, Minneapolis. To high school football now, let's take a look at the fourth round of the state playoffs. Pittsburgh Central Catholic will play first seed State College at Mansion Park for After the Whistles Game of the Week. That game kicks off tonight at 7. 3-seed Hollidaysburg will face Roman Catholic. That game will be played at Mechanicsburg High School and kick off at 7. And Penn Cambria will look to keep their unbeaten streak alive as they face Hickory at Armstrong High School tonight at 7. You can see highlights on After the Whistle tonight at 11:30 on our YouTube channel, Penn State Student Media. Penn State men's basketball is heading to Florida for a holiday tournament, still unbeaten. The Nittany Lions beat Purdue Fort Wayne this week at the BJC to go 5-0. Ace Baldwin led the team in scoring with 25 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. The Lions take on Fordham Monday in the Sunshine Slam. Penn State men's hockey continues its homestand this weekend against Michigan, but they're in desperate need of a win. The Lions are looking to rebound after Wisconsin swept them at Pegula last weekend, but it wasn't all bad news. Saturday featured the Teddy Bear Toss benefiting kids with pediatric cancer. 1,797 teddy bears were thrown onto the ice. That number beats last year's total by 10. That's all for sports. Now back to you, Rachel and John.
Yeah, Ryan, really hoping Penn State football can pull out the W this weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, and that teddy bear toss, really for a great cause. Thank you, Ryan. A unique goodbye event for a downtown State College business that's been around for decades. See why people have such fond memories there. Saying goodbye to an old friend is tough. even if that friend is a fast food restaurant. Evan Halfin has the story.
Penn State students are not loving it. A fast food favorite shut down a few days ago, and that was enough to draw a big crowd to the downtown State College location for a vigil. Yep, a full-on say goodbye vigil, complete with candles and music from Amazing Grace to the alma mater. So great! All to show their affection for a McDonald's. Even former students have fond memories of this place.
For me, it definitely was a staple. Going out with my friends and being able to swing by McDonald's to grab a fry on your way home after a night out. It was just so convenient. And so I was just shocked because I know I utilized the place a lot when I was a student.
Many in town say the cheap prices and downtown location made it part of their routine.
I've been here over 50 years. Remember it from when we were kids, I remember hamburgers being 30-something cents each back then.
No, it was sad because every Sunday after church, our youth group would go down and get milkshakes. It was kind of like a special treat.
The day after the vigil, crews were already gutting the inside and taking down the iconic golden arches. What's next? Demolition. To make room for a new high-rise called The Mart. It'll feature a mixed-use building with apartments above and commercial space on the first 2 floors. Maybe even a new McDonald's. What once was a small town continues to change, with high-rises being built left and right, like this one right here. Many residents say they've seen enough new high-rise apartment complexes downtown.
It did change the look of the town. It did change the feel of the town. And those who have come in maybe the past 5 or 10 years really don't have that comparison of when it was much different back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
For now, former customers will remember the good times they had at this McDonald's and the goodbye vigil. Just like in 2020, when students did the same thing as a Taco Bell closed its doors forever. In State College, I'm Evan Halfin for the Center County Report.
Such a fun story, and that's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us after Thanksgiving for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good holiday.